Junior Senior.
G'day YouTubers, it's Senior here from Junior Senior Gaming, and today we're having a look at Farming Simulator, and we're going to check out all the tractors that are in the game as of patch 1.1. So for starters, we have the basic tractors, the three basic tractors that you get when you start, and they are the Hurlimann H488 Turbo, the AGROSTAR, the JUTSFAR AGROSTAR 6.61, and the BUHRER 6135. Now, these three here, they're basically, this is when you buy them in the store, this is what they have. So the price range for the H488 is which is the one over here that's on the very left, is 37,000. It's 66 kilowatts at 90 horsepower. It also has and it also costs $270 per day. Now this is what we're going to be looking at, because all this information, it's great to have the biggest and best horsepower, but you got to look at other things like how much it's going to cost you per day and what you're going to get for that bang for buck. So let's have a look at the AGROSTAR 6.61, which is the next one across in the middle there. It's 51,000. And it's 105 kilowatts at 143 horsepower, and it costs you $460 per day. Now that's something to consider. Now we have a look at the BUHRER 6135A, which is 58,000, 99 kilowatts at 135 horsepower, and it costs $330 per day. So when you're starting out, as money is very, very, low cost, you need to find the least cost. I think that one of the main things you have to look at is cost per day. So, having said that, the H488 at 66 kilowatts will do everything, well, most things that you need it to do. I would suggest keeping an AGROSTAR around, because the AGROSTAR will actually help you with slashing and that sort of thing. So that would be something to consider. Either the AGROSTAR or the BUHRER. So one of those two. Pick one of those two, the bigger with the bigger horsepower. Now, but you don't need to have all of these tractors, because you've got one's nice and cheap, $270. The other one's $460, and then you've got $330, so per day. So that's something you have to consider. Right, the next one that we have along, which is the New Holland T475. Now, this little thing is quite a nice little tractor. I actually like the looks of it. I mean, if we jump in, it doesn't sound too bad. If we can hang on a sec. There we go. Just turn that sound up just that little bit so we can hear it. And that's not bad, not a bad sounding tractor. I mean, it does everything that these other tractors do. It costs you $64,000. It's 55 kilowatts at 75 horsepower, and it's $70 a day. Now this is what I'd be, if it was me, I'd probably sell all my stuff, all my tractors, and buy one of these to start with. I find this to be quite a good tractor. I've been driving around with this tractor now, and it seems to be quite a good tractor to run around in. So, it's up to you, but that's just something that's what I did anyway. So let's have a look at the next tractor, which is the Ursus. So we have the Ursus 15014, which costs $82,000. It's 109 kilowatts at 148 horsepower, and it costs $260 per day. So again, you got to factor in the cost per what it can do, that sort of thing. So I mean, for me, the 82,000 versus the 260 per day, I'm sort of, this is sort of, but this tractor here is in a new range than the other ones. The other ones were the low bottom of the range ones. This one here is off into the sort of low to mediocre range, so it is the start, but I think that there is actually better tractors than this one here. So we'll actually skip over to the LINDER, if I can say that properly, LINDER GEOTRAC 94, which is 94,000, has 75 kilowatts at 102 horsepower, and it costs 110 per day. So having said that, it's a little bit less horsepower than the Ursus, and it actually costs a lot cheaper per day. So you're still weighing up that cost per day thing. I mean, it's the initial cost for me, I don't see as a big issue. I think the actual cost per day is probably a better thing to look at. So that's something to take in consideration there. Now the next tractors I should say, because these two here are twins, they're basically the same. So it's the STERYR 4115 multi. So you get one here in a red and one in an orange with a sort of roll bar thing on the top, which I suppose you could strap goods to the top. Not that you can do that in the game, but in real life you probably could. But these are exactly the same. Now they're 105,000. They're 85 kilowatts at 114 horsepower and $100 per day. So in the low to mid range, this would be one that I'd definitely go for. One of these, choose one of these two. And you know, they've got the slashing capabilities on the front, the back. They can do all your pulling that you need for, you know, your lower range sort of stuff. And they're really good all-round vehicle, all-round tractor. When you start getting into the bigger equipment, you'll definitely need to upgrade. So you'll have to sell this, or even, it doesn't bother me if you keep it just for ploughing the fields. But you'll have to look at something a bit better. So that is the those two there. The next one that we're having a look at is the Hurlimann X M130 T4i. Costs 150,000. It's 96 kilowatts at 130 horsepower and is $90 per day. Now this one here is actually a really good tractor. I mean, as cost per day, it's cheaper, but it doesn't have those don't think it has those slashing capabilities that the other ones do. I've not actually tested it, but that's something you may have to consider as well. If you want a tractor that is an all-round good tractor, then it's something that you're really going to have to look at as well. Now this one here, we're stepping up into the mid-range now, and this is the same FORTIS 190. Costs 142,000. It's 140 kilowatts at 190 horsepower, and it's $240 per day. Now this is a little bit expensive per day. I like the look of the tractor, but I couldn't really find out how it was, you know, I didn't think it was better than any other tractor there for the cost per day. So I'm having to say that this one is something that I would not buy myself. But if you like this sort of tractor, then it's something that you'd definitely be interested in getting. I think the whole thing for the game is, if you're going to treat it as a business, then you're going to probably miss out on a whole heap of things. Where if you're into tractors, you like tractors, you go for the ones that you like, you'll get more enjoyment out of it, as well as treating it as a business. But I tend to start off with the ones that cost the least, and then work my way up to getting ones where I've got a really good income coming in. Then I can start looking at better tractors and better gear. So that's how I do it. The next one that we're having a look at is the Case Puma 160. Costs 149,000. It's 118 kilowatts at 160 horsepower and is 130 per day. So in the mid-range, you're straight away looking at 130 per day versus the 240, which was for the same FORTIS. Now, I'd be more leaning towards the cheaper one, It does the same things that the same FORTIS does, but it's a little bit cheaper per day. So again, it's up to you, but this is the one that I would choose over that one. Now the next one is the New Holland T6 160, and this is 157,118 kilowatts at 160 horsepower, and it's 120 per day. Now this one here, I would actually go for this one over the other two mid-range ones. The reason being is the actual outlay, the initial outlay, the 157,000, is something that I wouldn't really consider. I'd more be interested in 120 per day, because if you're going to be keeping this tractor for a long period of time, 120 a day is not really going to eat, you know, eat a big hole in your budget. But 240 per day, which is double the amount, is definitely going to be a lot more expensive for a tractor that does the same thing. So something that you may need to consider. Now this here is the Lamborghini Mark 230, which is 195,000. It's 162 kilowatts at 220 horsepower, and is 170 per day. Now when we're going to the more mid to high range, I actually like this one. This one here is quite good. It is the cheaper one out of the lot per day, and it's got that it's really got the horsepower to pull, so it'll pull the larger machinery along. So if you were plowing and you wanted to seed as well, you're pulling the cultivator and the seeder, this will do that, not a problem. And it does, going uphill, it does seem to struggle a little bit with it, but it still does the job. The next one along is the JEOTRAC VRT 7250 TTV. This is 229,193 kilowatts at 263 horsepower, and it's 250 per day. Now with this one here, it does have that little bit more horsepower, but I am still going towards the Lamborghini in this range, because the Lamborghini does the same thing that all of these others do, but it's cheaper per day, which to me is a better sort of thing. And I actually, to be honest, I like the JEOTRAC. I think it's very nice. It does look, if you have a look from the back, it does look exactly the same as the Lamborghini from the rear, and it looks very, very similar on the front. So there's not much difference look-wise, but and it pulls the same thing. I mean, this one does it slightly better, but only slightly. Where the Lamborghini will do the job, and do the job well. So still think the Lamborghini's better than this one. Now we've actually got the New Holland T8 320. Now this one here costs 254,000, is 235 kilowatts at 320 horsepower, and is 290 per day. Now this one here, we're sort of stepping up into the mid to high, where we're sort of stepped up into the mid to high range. This is sort of the top end of the mid to high range, so it's starting to creep into the high range. It's, in comparison, I still think the Lamborghini is better than this one. I mean, this has got more horsepower, it pulls better, I actually like this one, that it looks better. But if you're going for cost, and that's how you have to do it when you're farming, I'd have to say the Lamborghini is still more cost effective than this one. The next one is the Case Magnum 380, which is 298,279 kilowatts, and it's 380 horsepower. This one also costs 350 per day. Now this one is on the, I'm not quite decided whether it's actually part of the high range or whether it's mid to high range, because the other big boy toys, the ones which we'll be having a look at shortly, they have got a lot more oomph than what this one has. So it's sort of on the border there. So you know, if you wanted to have a big tractor that was almost high range, this would probably be the one. But take in mind that it is, you know, it is, you know, 350 per day, and that's something you want to make sure that you've got covered. Now this one here is which I think is the first of the big boys. This one is called the New Holland T8 435 Smart Tracks. It is 312,000. It is 320 kilowatts at 435 horsepower and costs 380 per day. Now this one, it will do anything that you need it to do. It'll get it done. Now it's, I mean, I don't mind this tractor. It's one that I generally prefer out of the big boys, but that's only my preference, because once you get to this stage here where you've got the big boys, cost really doesn't come into it. These toys here are toys that you would love to have if you were a farmer, and that's where, once you're at this stage here, it's a matter of just buy whatever you'd like, pretty much. But as we're going along, look, we were looking at cost per day. This one was 380 per day, which is a lot cheaper than the other two that are in the range. It also has a lot less power than the other two, so it's, you know, lacks there. But still, this one does everything you need to do on the farm. The other two just do it better. Now here we have the biggest of the big boys, the New Holland T9 565, which is 348,000. It's 416 kilowatts at 565 horsepower. But here's the actual problem: it costs 520 per day. So you really would be making some decent cash to be putting this tractor, you know, out there, because especially if you're putting multiple of these out, because this here does everything without a problem. It just goes anywhere. It you know, does anything, pulls anything, mulches everything, you name it. It does it once you've put the attachments on, so it'll use all the attachments in the game. One thing though that I have to let you know is it is articulated. If you see there, that for me, I'm still getting used to articulated tractors. So it was a little bit of a problem at first. I was sliding all over the place and oversteering, understeering, you name it. It was a bit of an issue, but other than that, this thing is the bee's knees of tractors. Now, last but not least, we have the Case Quad-Track 620. Now, this tractor, it's, from what I can tell, has to be the biggest, the best, the most powerful tractor in the whole game. It costs 379,000. It's 465 kilowatts at 620 horsepower, and it costs a massive 600 per day. So you'd want this thing working continuously. You would not want it stopping. But this is an absolute beast. When at first look, it's hard to tell which is the back and which is the front until you actually go around and have a look here at the back, where you can see where it picks things up. So it's articulated as well. So, and I do like how it actually is modeled, where when you turn, the stairs turn as well. So that's actually quite interesting. Now, I've put multiple things on this. It does everything. It does from mulching, all of the stuff, the same as what the T9 does. So it is just a massive workhorse. It really is good. The only thing that I wouldn't do with this is, it would be just a waste, would be slashing. These top end big boys, you know, just slashing with these would be a waste. You want these pulling, the big plows, the big the seeders, everything, the big stuff, and you want them doing it all the time, continually, keep going, because as soon as you stop them, it's going to cost you money. So look guys, that is pretty much it for all the tractors. I've tested all of these tractors, and my personal favorite out of these, believe it or not, is not this one, Not that one, not the new Holland T9, although that's very good, but this one here. The new Holland T8 435 is my personal favourite in the high-end range. The mid sort of high-end range, I'm looking at the Lamborghini I like. That's actually really good because it's cost per day I like. It does everything the other ones do. Coming down here, we're having a look at... I think I walked past them. Where is it? Oh, there they are over there. These boys here, these two, the twins, they're actually a really good couple of tractors to have. They, you know, these are probably, if you get to the top range, you'd still have these around. That's how good they are, these ones. And then going down all the way, if I've done on my proper account, I've sold all of these, and I've actually got this one here that I'm running around and I'm harvesting wood with, so that's interesting as well. We might have a look at that another time. But look guys, that's it from me. Hope you liked this little tractor presentation that I did. I'm going to do some more vehicles, just the standard vehicles, and we'll have a look there rather than just diving straight into the mods. This time we're going to be having a look at the in-game tractors and vehicles and plows and how everything works. Okay, so look, that's it from me, guys. Remember, keep those tractors moving, and I'm out of here. So thanks again, guys, and remember, game on. Thanks for watching, YouTubers. If you'd like to see more videos, then click on the links beside. We have the Renault Premium D for Euro Truck Simulator 2 just over here. And just under that we have the Farming Simulator 15 Money Hack, which is just down there. And if you'd like to visit our website or you'd like to subscribe, then click on the links below. Thanks again for watching, YouTubers, and remember, game on!